All right, so we're going to talk about orientations, specifically the first two orientations where you'll have to do your host family orientation and the student arrival orientation. They both are really about setting expectations to have a great experience, right? For setting up the year for success. So you're going to want to um, make sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to be expecting and rules and where to find information. That's the gist of the experience. Let me see here. Never forwarded the slides on my second screen. There we go. So goals for this session, host family orientations, student arrival orientations, and questions and group discussion. That's what we're going to do. So the first. So what is it required in a host family orientation? So you're going to discuss the best practices of exchange community from the philosophy, rules, and regulations of the students exchange program. Direct, you're going to direct them to where to find the Department of State exchange visitors regulations. So we're going to have that on Safe Exchanges under the documents so that you can find them directly on there. It used to be that you would hand them a piece of paper with the regulations or something on at the orientation, but this covers that regulation is that they're providing that information to them. So you're going to advise families on cross-cultural interactions and differences because that's even really experienced host families sometimes forget because they have that student that they've had for 10 months left and they seemed like just part of the family. So then they get a new student in and suddenly they're like, why don't they understand? Why aren't they like my other student? But they forget that the beginning of the year is different and there's more bumps along the road and every individual is different. So it's good to remember to remind them of those things. So you inform the family about the responsibility to report any material changes in status of the family. So if that means somebody moved out or somebody moved in or um, marriage problems, any kind of things, not like normal marriage problems, but looks like they might be getting a divorce or a death in the family. Those are definitely things that they need to make sure to tell us. So you can go straight to the Safe Exchanges Hub and look at under the document section and you'll see the orientations material. I will click on the link so you can see. It takes you actually straight to a public access to Salesforce. So even if you don't have a Salesforce account, you can get directly to this information and you can see like this host family orientation. So this is what you're going to be sharing with your host families. And this one's a PDF, but we'll have the PowerPoint loaded on here as well. And you can make changes to the PowerPoint on your own device once you download it. So it's a lot. It's a lot of information to go through when you're going through the orientation. So you make sure that you leave enough time to talk through everything with your host family. Now I have to get back to the PowerPoint. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Now you guys disappeared. My computer is weird. Okay. So the host family orientation guide, including the host family questionnaire, the host family orientation form, the host family handbook, all of that will be located on Safe Exchanges, like I just showed you. I would really like to be able to see your faces again, but now I only see the PowerPoint, so you'll have to speak up if you want something. I won't be able to see you right now. I'll figure that out. So the best practices for host family orientations. A pro tip, the host family handbook has a lot of information. It's your best friend. Make sure that you're sharing that with them. You can, if you have a copy, a physical copy that you can walk through with them, or you can just kind of freshen your mind before you go. I'm looking at what we've prepared for everyone. Okay. Oh, I found you guys again. I can see your faces. So best practices for host family orientations. So what do you do well? I want to hear from you. What things work best for you when you do your orientations? I think most of you are experienced, have done an orientation or two. Heath, tell me about your host family orientations. I want to hear what you do with yours.
What I do,
Yep.
I okay. Um, I talk to the families. You know me, so I have fun. I joke. I laugh. I just try and make it as easy to understand as possible, and just have fun. But I also ask a lot of questions, so make sure that they don't have any, lack of a better way of putting it, strange thoughts, questions, or otherwise. So you try and make sure you're ready to answer anything.
How about you, Martha?
I like to do mine in a group, and I like to have returning host families help, especially the kids, to help talk to the other kids about what it's like and how
Um,
they've adjusted and
um,
things that they had to learn about it. And I, this year, I'm gonna get some information about the countries where they're coming from, because I used to always have the same countries where I could give them, this is what you're going to find most of the kids do, but it's going to be new for me too now. So I think that is a big part of it. Like sometimes we don't expect. I had a sponsored girl once from Ghana, and I didn't even think that she wouldn't know how to use a cutting board, and
mm,
she cut on the counter and it upset the host family, but we didn't tell her. So making sure families know that those things could happen because they don't know,
right.
I think is a big part of it.
Yeah, that's good. I also was a local coordinator for primarily two countries. So whenever I got a Flex or Yes student, I would always read up about the culture so I could be prepared to answer questions better. So I could kind of brace myself too. Like, what am I going to expect? What is this kid kind of going to be like? It's stereotypical. Doesn't mean that every kid is going to be a cookie cutter of the same, but there's certain practices and things that can kind of transfer over. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Sharing. We do have cultural profiles that you can look at, or you can, talk to ChatGPT, or you can look on Google and find out all kinds of interesting information about students, countries, and cultures. Prepare yourself. That's always good. I think the other key thing when you're doing orientations is, like he said, he's like jokes and laughs. That's building rapport. And you're going to be their support person. And sometimes you don't know this person at all. Like this is a new placement and you've never met this family before. And you want them to get to know you and feel comfortable coming to you before things are bad, right? So that you can help them have a great experience. So, let's see who else has experience. Only you two. That's Shauna. Have you done orientations before? You
No, I
helped.
have not. I've sat in orientations because I was a host mom, but no, I
Mhm.
have not conducted them.
So, what do you think would be a good way to create realistic expectations for host families?
Are you asking that of me or the whole group?
Well, I was going to ask you, but anybody that wants to say pitch in, that's okay.
I think my experience, because I'm new at being a local coordinator, I have forgotten how risky this can seem for new host families. And already some of the questions I've gotten surprise me, just because my viewpoint has been from being an experienced host mom. And so I think I feel like I need to do a lot of hand holding or just reassuring that I'm going to be available to answer questions, and that it may seem overwhelming at first and a little bit scary, but we walk through it step by step. And then I think laying out what the common stages of the exchange are, so that people are prepared ahead of time. But I just think that there's this trepidation. They got really excited, and now as they're getting closer to the time, there are a lot more questions and concerns.
Sure. Yeah. Everything from what to expect, like at the airport, to, uh, how do we introduce them to the dog? All the little things that add up into, when you have lots of little worries, it can add up and snowball into like this big, frustrating feeling. So it's good to be able to talk those through. That's great. Um, So do you have any main challenges when you do orientations? Anything that you've had to overcome? Scheduling? You said you do yours with as a group. I wish I had thought to do that as a local coordinator. I did my student arrival orientations as a group, but as host family orientations, I tended to do them individually with the host families. I love the idea of doing them together. Then the host families can all learn from each other and get to know each other. It is a little bit more challenging to schedule everybody's busy schedules into one time that everybody can meet, but it's worth it.
Another thing, I think we talked about it at the meeting in San Diego, was I like to say to parents, host parents, call me when it's a little thing. Because if I know the little thing, then when it gets bigger and you call me, I understand it all and I can help. And maybe I can find a solution for the little thing before it gets to be a big thing. And
Yeah,
I think sometimes host families want to be like, I can do this, I can do this. I'll do it by myself, which I try to tell them, we're doing this together, and keep me involved. And I've done this and I can help you, you know.
right. Especially, I mean, adults want to be able to do things on their own. They don't want to ask for help for something. But yeah, setting it up like this is we're a team and you're not on your own, and I am here for the student and you guys as well. So let me be there for you, right? I've had host families that were like offended by that, like, oh, we know how to parent. Why are you trying to parent this kid? So make sure that you set those things up so they understand that you're not trying to override them, but trying to help them through. I think that's good too. Anybody else have any challenges they want to talk about? Any questions about worries about doing an orientation, maybe?
Think my big thing is like I'm brand new to this, and I have a family who's also brand new to American Councils. So they've hosted through other groups before. So I made sure, like, when we did like the host family interview, to be like, hey, we're gonna learn this all together. We're in this together. If I don't have the answers today, I'll get them tomorrow.
Sure.
So just ask all the questions you have, and I'm gonna also have questions, and we'll put them all together and get the answers for you. So it's intimidating, and I know, like, as a host family, that has to be intimidating as well as coming into a new organization. So just trying to be really transparent through the whole process.
Mhm. Right? You don't have to have all the answers. Um, you know where to come if you have questions too. All right. So remember, they're required. Even if the host family's done it 100 times before, they still have to do an orientation. It's still required every time. It's as part of their visa. They must be completed before the student arrives to the home, and you will get your $40 honorarium per host family, and then. Yeah, you have to do this before. Just remember, before the student arrives, host family orientation. Okay, student arrival orientations. Does anybody remember when they're supposed to happen? Doo-doo.
Within 2 weeks of their arrival, my
Yeah,
close. Yeah.
yeah. 30 days. They need to be done by 30 days, but 2 weeks is even better. Yeah. I. How many people try to get to the airport to meet the students when they come? Yeah.
I don't go to the airport, but I feel like the sooner I do my orientation, the better.
Right. Yeah. I always tried to
And
get to the airport, but it's not necessary. It's not required to go to the airport, but it's nice I want them to see my face as soon as possible. So if I don't arrive at the airport, then I want to schedule an orientation as soon as possible so they get to know me and know that they have support there immediately. Heath, did you have something to add?
Did I?
Yeah, I just noticed you weren't on mute, so.
Yeah, no, yeah, my computer was just acting stupid, but I usually don't go and meet them just for the fact that I know as a host family, you're so excited to have that student, you really don't want to share. And, so I try not to bug them with that. And I usually, yes, I will do minimum 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes I will wait close to the month. Gives the student and the family a little bit of time to get to know each other and then find out if there, happens to be any issues or anything. So, but most of them know, I reach out to them and or they usually reach out to me before they even leave their countries,
Great.
and so you get a chance to talk with them and you just kind of introduce yourself and say, hey, if you got questions or something comes up or you got any concerns or whatever. I just had mine reach the one that I'm local coordinator for reach out asking what she should be bringing for trinkets.
Oh.
So I'm like, well, this, that. You know, keep in mind you may need some for teachers after school is done as goodbye gifts and little things. And, but yeah,
Mhm.
I try not to go to the airports.
Very cool. So you're going to be discussing regulations with the students too, regulations for the exchange visitor program and the student specific program. So if they're on flex program, guest program, boost program, they're all in our student handbook. So, um, review American Council's policies and rules with them. It's all in the orientation, but you're going to go through those things. Provide an overview of student monitoring and support, special attention to how we handle cultural issues and sensitivities. So they might think they're completely prepared. They went through their pre-departure orientation and all of the things that they've been um, set up for, and then they come to the US and they're in this family and they're like, wow, I just don't understand why they do this like that or whatever. So helping them understand those things and how to handle them. That's all part of it. Ensure students understand the goals, expectations, and requirements of their exchange program. I always like to talk to students about their goals at arrival orientation, and I like to revisit them at mid-year. Hey, remember those goals you set? Let's review those again. Um, so where can you find the materials for the arrival orientation? Same place as the as the host family orientation. We're going to go to the safe exchanges, to the documents, and you can click on the link here. It takes you to safe exchanges. So a while ago, what I had linked was this, and you can go straight to the orientation material here. We don't have the student arrival orientation loaded up yet. We just loaded these up today. We're in the process of loading everything. So you can't see it here yet, but you will. Okay, so you'll see the student arrival orientation guide, including the leadership plan and the student questionnaire. These two things are so important. The student questionnaire is so important, and the host family questionnaire, they help so many little problems get ironed out before they become problems. So I see your hand. Bev, can you have a question?
Yeah, this is a real basic question. Are these conducted with the host parents, or are they conducted just one-on-one with the student and the LC?
It's a good question. Some people do an orientation with like their student arrival orientation. I know at least one local coordinator that does it at her house, and she invites the host families to bring their students, and the host families can mill around talking and eating snacks or whatever while she does the orientation with her students. I personally would take my students out to get a pizza or something and do it there at the pizza place. I tended to have 3 to 8 students, so that's a lot for the house, but whatever you like to do. You could technically do one for each student, but it's definitely better if you have a group of students to do them together, give them a chance to get to know each other, and be their first group activity together. So,
Well, so unless you have,
You-
I
what?
only have one, unless there
One
are others
student.
that you
Yeah.
have told me about.
Yeah, one student for you this year. That's okay. I only had one student my first year also. Um, the student handbook, the electronic copy, those things are all on Safe Exchanges up there. They will be. So what do you do well? Anybody want to brag about how well they do their orientations? Oh, I saw Molly's hand. Shoot.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry, I think I've asked you this, Leanne, but for well, I have two questions. For the handbooks, are the families getting those ahead of time, or are we responsible to let them know where to find them?
I did send her an electronic
Okay.
copy of
I'm
the
sure you, yeah,
handbook.
okay, perfect. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then remind me, can the orientation with families be done? I think I remember not everybody has to be there for that one, right? Just the interview, all the members of the family.
Right. The kids
Okay.
don't have to be part
Okay.
of the orientation. It's
And does
fine.
it have to be done in person, or can it be a virtual overview?
I
I know
think
you prefer person,
technically
probably.
it could be that I'm being recorded, and I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure. I have
Okay.
done them in the past on video calls, but it's preferred to be in person. Yeah.
Yeah. I just know with my family in the medical field, it's hard to sometimes get all of the calendars to align.
Yeah,
So
luckily that family, because she works she's a nurse, and so her schedule is like 3 days a week that she works, so that makes it a little bit easier for that family
yeah.
that you're working with
Yes.
this year. Um
Yes.
I
Okay.
Yeah, and then right, I did actually this past year before I onboarded you. Your host family was all the way in South Anchorage. We had the student arriving. We had to get it done, and I did their orientation on a video call because we
Sure. Yes.
couldn't coordinate
That
schedule
was
of all
similar
that stuff.
situation.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
it's not the preference for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
Leanne,
how do you make orientations effective and for specific students' placements?
Leanne, can I go back for just a minute?
Sure.
This, are the host families going to get, and I don't, pardon me for asking this again, but are they going to get a hard copy of the handbook like we have had in the past? Or is
Yes.
that only going to be okay?
So we discussed this, like what are the merits of having a paper copy, and most of us all were unanimous. Like it was all but one person was like, "Is this even necessary?" And we said, "Yes, absolutely. We need the paper copy." So um, they should be mailed out from the office.
And
They're getting
so
printed right now.
what's the timeline for them to get those? For example, we're still considered placement pending, but as soon as that's approved, then the mailing goes out.
Yeah, like I said, they're getting printed right now. So they just got finished. They had to do edits, right, for each year to make updates and things. So
Yeah.
they were finished with the edits and they were at the printers last week. That's the last thing I heard. I haven't heard since I'm not in the office very often. I don't know exactly when they'll be mailed out. I haven't
Okay.
heard.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Thanks.
So let's see here. Let's see. Martha, you usually have a cluster, and Heath usually has a cluster. You have tips or tricks to make it work well, so it feels like each kid is getting individual attention and also attention for the cluster.
I usually try to do some kind of a game with them just so they get to know each other a little bit to begin with. And sometimes that can be a challenge. I mean, there might be one that just puts their heels down. Um, and, you have to try to figure out what it is that they like and make that the theme of the next meeting together. But I feel like if they're in the same schools, then they kind of bond together. And you have to make sure that if they're different schools, that you're getting those groups together to do things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
We usually have numerous outings during the year for all our kids, and it's actually kind of funny, whether they're in the same school or they're in different counties for that matter. Exchange students kind of pull to each other. There is just something, for one, they have the same issues, I guess, they're all kind of going through the same thing and whatever else, and they understand each other a little bit. But it just seems like when we start doing our get-togethers and our outings and whatever that we do, it has always worked. We've never really had any issues. They they just seem to get along good. Again, they are all having the same thoughts, same things going on. They're all exchange students, so
Yeah, that's a very bonding experience. They're all um on the edge of like they're stepped out of their comfort zone and they're all just trying new waters.
yep. And having somebody else that's doing the same thing kind of helps them each feel a little bit more comfortable.
So, Bev asked in the chat, she asked if cultural profiles are available on Safe Exchanges, and I don't believe we've moved them over there yet. We are still in the throes of moving everything into Safe Exchanges, but I'd be happy to send you a profile for your student, and in the meantime, while we're getting everything loaded, so it's easy for you. Okay. Does anybody have any more comments about strategies? Okay. So, you have to have in-person contact with your students every other month with American Councils. That's the rule. And this counts as your first in-person contact. If you happen to meet them at the airport, you can have an in-person contact there also. All right. Questions? So are there any other challenges with orientations that we haven't talked about that you think that I should have talked about more?
Well, this is Bev. I mean, in my first time, it seems that all the relevant information is in Safe Exchanges, correct? That's really where I'll need to go
Mm-hmm.
to get all this information, which is,
Yep.
And then the parents, I may have missed it. Do they have access to Safe Exchanges too, but a different channel?
So they will have a parent account. Yeah, so it looks there's just slightly different information on the host family account versus, the local coordinator account versus my admin account. So, but
Do they have that
overall,
already?
the ones that are placed, the students that have already been placed and it's finalized, yes, they've been included.
My person has been finalized, right?
Right. Yes. And I
Okay.
just saw that email last week, so I'd have to double check, but I'm quite sure that I saw them on the list to be included.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
So it's a PowerPoint that you'll have, and so the PowerPoint that we've created, then you can use. I'll share it to you, so you can go through. I kind of flipped through the host family orientation really quickly, but there's like a calendar that you can add your own dates to. If you already know, I want to do mid-year orientation this weekend, I'm gonna put it on my calendar to share with them right off the bat. There's a spot for your name and your phone number, email address, anything like that, any kind of contact information you want to share with them. They probably already have it, but you can put it on there. You can personalize it. That's what makes it easy. We do the most biggest part of it, and you can just add it up, put it in for yourself, all the little details. Um, so do you have any feedback? Have you enjoyed this presentation? Do you have any feedback on the orientation materials that I know I went through them kind of quickly. I'd be happy to open that back up and look through it more slowly if anybody would like.
So that I can start to plan dates for my orientations, when will I know student arrival dates?
Let me switch. I think that was the last screen. Yep. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing and close this out. 1 second. I can get dates for you. I saw dates today. So it depends on the country, right? So the arrival dates are to the host family, August 6th, August 4th. Let's see, August 4th is the first one. Through if no one's deferred, the latest arrival is August 20th. And that's for August 28th for Kiribati. Um, August 20th is Uzbekistan and Mongolia. Turkmenistan is the 19th. We don't have any students from Tajikistan. Poland is August 18th. Anyhow, I can get them to you for specifically for your students.
Can you get those to me also, Leanne?
Sure.
You mentioned something in an email about Alan coming maybe in September. Do you have the Kazakhstan date there?
So Alan is different because he is an HSA. He is our only HSA student, so he is not on the Flex program. So all the other students their flights are coordinated by Flex, by the program. But he is Homestay in America. So he was a Flex finalist, but he was not selected to come on program. So his parents are paying for him to come on HSA. That's
Oh,
why it's different.
I was not aware of that. That was not made plain because
Okay.
he applied on a Flex application.
Yep.
Okay.
His application is a Flex application because that's where he went through, and we just he was selected on that program still to come to
All right,
HSA. He was
maybe
still
you and I can take this
Yeah.
offline. I want to
Sure.
chat with you about.
Does anybody have any more questions about orientations? I'm gonna stop the recording.